A week ago, Eckhart's Ladder posted a video that brought up a really interesting question, which is, why did the rebels use the GR-75 transports in battle? Transport ships that are neither armed nor equipped with anything that make them useful during an active battle. Their purpose was never made clear in either canon or even Legends material, with the sources giving us very vague reasons at best about their use. Eckhart's Ladder in his video came to the conclusion that they were likely used for target saturation or as anti-starfighter ships. However, we think their real purpose is drastically different, and that they may actually be one of the most important ships within the Rebel Alliance. We won't be viewing these transports as an asset to the Rebel fleet during battle, but rather that they were an essential component to the Rebel Alliance's overall strategy on survivability, and them being in the fleet during battle is just a byproduct of that strategy. The Rebel Alliance was always on the move. Every base that they set up could not be permanent, and it had to be hidden. If the Empire were to ever discover their base, the only thing the rebels could do was evacuate as the overwhelming Imperial forces came down upon them. We've seen this happen multiple times, from Chopper Base on Atollon to Echo Base on Hoth. These transport ships ensured that the rebels could swiftly ditch their current headquarters and quickly set up another one with relative ease, as these transports stored all the essential equipment and materials needed to set up another temporary base and to have it operational in no time. The way the rebel bases are set up, it looks like everything they use can be quickly unhooked, taken apart, and stored into a storage crate, which is then attached to a transport ship. So if they were ever forced to abandon a compromised base, the rebels could set up another one by landing on another planet or moon, unload the base equipment from the transports, and then have a new base up and running in a day or so. This shortens the amount of time the rebels have to go without having an active central base of command. So the question then is, why are these transport ships present in offensive battles orchestrated by the Alliance? Well, it could be because that's the safest and most strategic place for them at that specific time. The Rebel fleet was the most powerful military arm the Alliance had at its disposal. With that being said, the Rebel fleet could only at best compete with the Imperial fleet in most cases. Whenever the Alliance committed to a massive attack, it had to send every ship it had if it wanted to even have a chance at winning. As a result, during a naval assault on an Imperial installation, the main Rebel base is almost entirely undefended, as the fleet that once defended it is gone. What if the Empire was to attack the Rebel base while the Rebel fleet was away making its own separate attack? Then that's what the transports flying in the fleet would come in handy. The Rebel fleet could quickly disperse and retreat from its attack and scatter across the galaxy. Even though they lost their entire planetary base from an Imperial counterattack, the Rebel Alliance could set up another base quickly due to the transports that were within the fleet. The Rebel Alliance was not centralized and did not have a permanent set of territory. In its early years, it could not confront the Empire in a wide open battle. As a result, every planetary base the rebels built up was in constant danger of being wiped out if the Empire discovered them. These transport ships reduced the damage of losing a planetary base, as it allowed the rebels to set up another one in no time. Them being in the fleet was only added security just in case if the central rebel base was destroyed while the fleet was away or scattered across the galaxy. These transports were essential to the Rebel Alliance's survivability, as they were a vital asset to their ability to always be on the move. So, what do you guys think? Does this sound like a reasonable theory as for why the rebels use these transport ships in space battles? Or do you think they serve a completely different purpose? Also, be sure to check out Eckhart's Ladder video on the same subject, where he goes in more depth behind his reasonings for his theories. Thanks for watching this episode of The Lore Master. Be sure to subscribe for more Star Wars lore videos like these in the future. And may the Force be with you.